So just kind of give us your overall thoughts of the offseason and where you think you are now compared to where you left off last year.
Well, going back to last year, I think obviously none of us were happy about the way the season ended. If I look back at our schedule last year, I think to make the playoffs we needed to get off to a good start, and we didn't do that. And really that's what I was most disappointed about is that we blew some games early in the year, especially some of the lower teams in the Eastern Conference that we needed to win, and started out 12-14. Now, I thought we scrambled pretty well and recovered pretty well to get to 28-20 just before the All-Star break. We were in the mix for the playoffs, but all year the chemistry wasn't good. It wasn't as good as it could have been. 2 years ago, I think was was a joy for all of us to be part of. We didn't win a championship or anything like that. We didn't even make the playoffs, but I feel like everybody gave what they had and sacrificed and run selfish. We didn't have as much of that as we needed last year. So, we wanted to shake things up this offseason. We wanted to be aggressive. I think we have some good young players, but I think overall we're a little bit too young. We kept some of the younger guys. We have a chance to be, we think have a chance to be pretty special, down the road, and also added some veterans to not only balance out the roster better positionally, but also age-wise and experience-wise as well.
So after these month or so of workouts, just pick up games with these guys, who do you think is going to surprise us over last year? As being much improved.
You talking about a returning player or a new player?
One of each. How about that?
Okay. I think of the new guys first, I think Sonny Weems will surprise some people, and the reason I picked him is because I think our fans have seen guys like Mirza Teledovic and John Lure play before or recently. They know what those guys can do. I don't know how many of our fans are watching CSKA Moscow games. Hopefully a lot. But Sonny's a guy I think with the size and versatility, length, ability to guard multiple positions. Will really help fill a need for us and really improve our defense. So I go with him of the new guys. Of the returning guys, boy, that's tough. I think I'm gonna have to go with Eric Bledsoe, even though he's been one of our best players the last 2 years. The work he put in the offseason, the kind of shape he's in right now, and the way he's looked in these pickup games. I mean, as you guys know, he's always had the physical talent and the ability to be an elite two-way player, but it seems like the game's slowing down for him. That he's kind of figuring out where the defenders are going to be if they rotate a certain way, who's going to be open. So he looks pretty darn good. We're expecting him to have another big year.
So you think as far as the immediate win total, do you think it was, okay, you signed Tyson Chandler to start at center this year, Alex Len slides into a backup role, even though Alex Len had started most of last year. Do you think for the immediate this season win total you needed something like that and to give Alex Len a guy to learn from?
Well, yeah, I think we needed it for a number of reasons, Dave. I think we haven't had that veteran presence, who's a leader and not only talk the talk, but his resume kind of backs up what he's done, like Tyson does. We haven't had that over the past couple of years since I've been here. You're talking about a guy who's a Olympic gold medalist, NBA champion, NBA Defensive Player of the Year. I think with Tyson and Alex, the reason it'll work is because I think Tyson's kind of the present. Alex is somewhat the present, but he's also the future. He's 22 years old. He's still developing as a player. He did make great strides for us last year, really improved. Last year we were hurt, when he was off the court or in foul trouble. But we thought not only from a team perspective, but also from a practice standpoint and an individual development standpoint, having a guy like Tyson for Alex to go up against every day in practice would be great for him. And I remember when I was in Boston, it's a different situation, but we brought in Kevin Garnett, and the young guys at all positions kind of saw his leadership and intensity, and he taught them tricks of the trade, and immediately the whole level raised, and everybody was held accountable. That team went from 24 to 66 wins. I'm not expecting that kind of improvement. I don't think that's mathematically possible, actually, but I think it'll be a good thing not only for Alex but for the entire team.
You kind of mentioned shaking it up over the offseason and bringing in a more balanced roster than last year and filling some of those gaps. But although a roster is never complete, are there some positions or some gaps that you think still remain that you're still going to be looking to try to fill over the next 2 weeks?
Well, I'm happy with our blend going into training camp. I'm happy with our depth. I think we have two young guards who can be two of the better guards in the league for the next 5 or 10 years. And Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight. You know, I think behind them, the guys standing right behind you guys right now, and Devin Booker, who you know, really played well in summer league. I guess a 31-point game he had in the semifinals. You know, a lot of times with a rookie, you can kind of tell early on, you know, if he's going to make it or not, or how good he may be. You know, I think Devin's ceiling's really high. He looks like he belongs. He acts like he belongs. He's been a productive player not only in summer league but also in the preseason workouts. You know, on the wing, you know, PJ Tucker, been so versatile for us the past couple of years. You know, as I mentioned in the introductory remarks, he guards every position, as you guys know. He's one of the better rebounders in the league for his size, and we love his defensive versatility and grit. And then behind him, T.J. Warren's another young guy that you know, I think has made great strides this past offseason. He's you know, seems to get in better shape every single year, and he's really efficient as a scorer. He's shooting the three-point shot well in his preseason workout, so you know, I feel good there. And then, you know, up front, you know, Markieff Morris, as I mentioned earlier, I feel bad that some of his behavior last season, his comments this offseason have overshadowed, you know, a guy who's been a very productive player and one of the better clutch players in the league last year. And I thought he did a great job, you know, kind of addressing some of that today, and you know, looking forward to the future. And I'm confident he'll be a productive player for our, you know, for our team going forward. And then, you know, we talked a little about the center spot with Tyson Chandler and Alex Len. So we like our depth. We like our roster balance better than we had last year. And you know, again, that was my fault. The roster wasn't as balanced as it should have been. But you know, we're looking forward to, you know, getting off to a good start tomorrow. And I think we will, given what I've seen over the last month, with the majority of our guys having been here since August 24th. I think you know, we're in good shape heading up to Flagstaff.
Question about the bench, Brian, you were just talking about that. I just was talking with Juan about this and he hadn't realized it. While you added a lot of calendar experience to the bench, you didn't add a ton of NBA level experience in terms of games played, minutes played.
Right.
I did a story and found out the Suns were actually the second least experienced bench in the NBA based off of games played and minutes played for reserves. What gives you, did you realize this, and what kind of gives you confidence that these guys are going to be able to overcome that level of experience for guys like TJ and step into these roles?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's a little misleading just when you talk about a guy like Mirza Teletovic, who doesn't, I guess, have a lot of NBA experience or a lot of games. Sonny Weems is kind of in the same boat. You know, those guys are 29 and 30 years old and played a lot of competitive basketball games at a high level, either in the NBA or especially in Europe. You know, guys like Alex and TJ, same kind of thing. I guess the numbers don't show that, you know, they played a ton of NBA games. They haven't played a ton of NBA games, but they did get a decent amount of minutes for us last year. So, you know, we're comfortable with the blend. John Lure's a guy, another guy I think will fit better in our system than he did in Memphis. As you guys know, they play, you know, totally differently than we do with a, you know, grit and grind and a slower pace. I think John's a guy that you guys will be able to see him use his athleticism, get up and down, and be able to finish in the open court. So, you know, I'm comfortable with it. Obviously, you know, it remains to be determined how it all works and blends together. But I like the age range, I like the positional balance, and I like our experience overall.